Dr. Glidden is a very busy fellow with his private practice and the books he's written and all the work he does. He's received his degree from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst and ND from Barrison University in Seattle, Washington. He's a member of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians and Illinois Association of Naturopathic Physicians. He's lectured to thousands of people over the last 2 decades. He delivers lectures and, of course, hosts his own radio broadcast as well, drglidden.com. And he's also a contributor to Dead Doctors Don't Lie. He's involved as an advisor to InfoWarsHealth.com and, of course, to Longevity. And I wanted to get him on today to talk about vaccines first. Then I wanted to ask him, this is what he's really an expert on, if we have the best medical system in the world, why are illnesses such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, type 2, high blood pressure, and obesity, autism, heartburn, and cancer getting worse instead of better? How is 21st century American medical system similar to 9/11? What is the real problem with Obamacare? How are naturopathic physicians different from MDs? We're going to get some concrete examples of how a naturopath would treat heartburn and arthritis. All this and more. All I know is that people like chiropractors are in the same constellation of groups that were around along with MD medicine that MD medicine is trying to phase out. MD medicine wanted to do surgery on my back when I shot a 50 cal handheld over 100 times, and for whatever reason that day threw my back out. My spine bent to the left like 3 inches, looked like basically a bow on the x-ray. I went to a chiropractor. It was painful, took 3 sessions. They popped it 98% back, and now it's totally back. And the pain all left within 2 weeks. Miraculous. They would shut that down if they could. So that's just an example. Dr. Glidden, thank you so much for joining us. I want to just spend the few minutes we have here before the break on vaccines and medical tyranny. It's here. The bill has passed the committee. They have the votes in the House and Senate, they say. They say it could be on the governor's desk in a month. Forced inoculation. Australia is taking away the tax write-offs worth $15,000 for a family of 4 if you don't take the vaccines. I mean, this is really a scary time. Let's think about that. Government forcing us to put in us vaccines on record on the inserts that can kill us. Dr. Glidden, your take on this. I mean, we've got to rebel now, and the question is how?
Well, it's a good time for civil disobedience. Just say no. It's the same thing as Obamacare, forcing people to gain access to pay monthly checks for medical insurance to give them access to MD-directed medicine. It doesn't give them access to chiropractors, naturopaths, homeopaths, Ayurvedic practitioners. It's a one-trick pony, and this is just another arm of the octopus. My advice, just say no. The vaccine science is fuzzy science at best. If you look at the vaccine research objectively, scientifically, from an unbiased, unprejudiced point of view, then you would not be a fan nor an advocate of vaccines. Drugs are like guns. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. Thank God for Novocaine. Thank God for morphine. Thank God for the sterile technique. But for goodness sake, vaccines, well, if they work, that would be one thing. Quite frankly, they do not, and God only knows what they're putting in them. My advice, just say no. This is, in fact, the tip of the iceberg.
That's right. They're coming in and taking the velvet glove off the iron fist because in the higher educated areas, upwards of 70% of people in areas of Northern California and other areas, the higher educated, the less vaccines, people aren't taking it. Many other areas, about 30% of the country aren't taking them with children, higher with adults. It's panicking the system. So now they're coming in and saying, we're going to force you to do it. Simply amazing.
Well, one of the reasons is follow the money, right? I mean, the pharmaceutical industry is in cahoots with the federal government. The federal government has contracts, dyed in the wool. You have to make so many vaccines a year. We're going to prepay you for them. And so they already have the vaccines. Now they have to get rid of them. They have to get some of their money back. So there's an economic factor that's at play here.
Well, my kids aren't taking vaccines, and neither am I. That's right. Dr. Glidden, stay there. We'll be back to break down key intel. Medical doctors, on average, individually are great people. I had a surgery on my leg. That didn't go too well when I was 16. I had a hernia surgery, hard to believe, just a week and a half ago. It went superlative, but that was something that medically had to be fixed. It came out a few years ago that the federal government with MD medicine tried to shut down chiropractors. Everybody I know uses chiropractors. rich people, poor people. It works great. The Queen of England uses naturopaths. So the point is, you deserve the choice. And what Dr. Glidden just hit, under Obamacare, it doesn't force 37 million people extra to go out and get insurance that covers everything. No, only MD medicine and drugs. And now drugs are supplanting MD medicine, and more of what they're allowed to do is give drugs, like at the VA, not even the surgeries. Dr. Glidden, I want to give you the floor in this short segment and the next long segment coming up. After all the years of lecturing hundreds of thousands of people and tens of thousands of hours, I want you to talk about the key intel that you've developed that really gets people to wake up. If we have the best medical system in the world, why are illnesses such as heart disease, arthritis, and type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and other things exploding? What's really going on, Dr. Glidden? How do we reverse it?
Well, here's the deal. The best place to hide something is in plain sight. I mean, look at 9/11, right? It's a controlled demolition right in front of everybody's face, and nobody sees it for what it is. We don't have a free medical market in the United States. We haven't had a free medical market since the early 1920s after something called the Flexner Report. That was when the MD profession rose to ascendancy. And listen, your medical doctor might be the nicest person that God ever created, but your medical doctor, bless their hearts, does not know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is one small piece of the pie of medical science. Medical doctors don't practice medicine. Nobody practices medicine. Medicine is a vast domain. There's chiropractic medicine, naturopathic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathic medicine, on and on and on. The type of medicine, the philosophy of healing, the philosophy of medical treatment that your MD is trained in is referred to as allopathic medicine, right? I practice naturopathic medicine. MDs practice allopathic medicine. And allopathic medicine is most spectacularly fantastic for surgery when it's necessary, for a handful of infectious diseases, and for trauma. But that's the long and the short of it. For most of the conditions that most people go to the doctor for most of the time, allopathic MD-directed medicine does not work.
Well, they wanted to chop my back open when most back surgeries we know fail, and all I needed to do was have my spine line back up, and now it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. And when the back surgery fails, do you get a refund? No, because it's a self-policing industry. Get this, right? Remember, the best place to hide something in plain sight, the leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medical treatments. The leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed medical treatments. And this is what happens when an industry becomes monopolized, right? It's good to be the king. When you're the king, what you say goes, no matter what. So even though while the MDs have been driving the bus of medicine, arthritis is going up, type 2 diabetes is escalating, obesity in the childhood population, obesity in the United States has risen to 1/3 of the childhood population in the last 20 years.
Half of Hispanics within 5 years, they're saying, are going to have diabetes.
It's crazy. Type 2, it's all chronic diseases across the board are on the rise and out of control. And the reason for this is because the MDs are the wrong dog for this hunt. Look, we don't go to chiropractors for open heart surgery, right? If you have a bullet in your arm, heaven forbid, you're not going to go to the chiropractor because that's not their thing. They're not trained in it. You go to the person that's trained in that. Well, if it were a perfect world, it would be illegal for MDs to treat chronic disease.
But look at how they're even in war. Look at how they're even in a war now against nutritionists. The FDA, and it doesn't even want them to be able to tell people that eating vitamin C can help you. They want to shut everything down where they take over society.
It's a big, bad voodoo daddy, Alex. We can talk about that in the next segment. If most people had any idea of the control that the FDA and the FTC have over the delivery of nutritional supplements in this country, there would, in fact, be a revolution.
We're going to break in a moment, but I know you've got an amazing Dr. Glidden Insider where you send out these daily and weekly alerts and videos and more. How do folks sign up for that?
Just go to drglidden.com, click on the link to become an insider. I have over 120 hours of archived videos They'll tell you exactly what you can do right now to get on the other side of most chronic conditions. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. Let's lift each other up and move forward.
All right, folks, drglidden.com, and get that info and pass it on to others. I'm Alex Jones, prisonplanet.tv. Stay with us. You know, I get up here on air and I say, Dr. Glidden, in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to give you the floor because I want you to go over this breakdown you've got that's so important. Out of thousands of speeches he's given, he's found this is the breakdown that's the most effective at informing and waking people up. And then I start interrupting because it starts coming to me. I'm like, wait a minute, they're trying to shut down nutritionists now, too. And they just want to run everything, and I've got to pay all my money into government-run health care, and they want to forcibly inoculate me. I mean, these people are tyrants. And then I think about the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany and how, under Mao's China, how they use medical tyranny for the state because it has so much authority. But I'm going to try to shut up here and get Dr. Glidden to really break down this medical system and how much control the FDA and FTC have over delivery of vitamins, nutritional supplements. They're moving right now with the states to try to just ban them. And they're trying to lower how much vitamins and minerals you need. And they're trying to say, you know, you don't need any fat. Well, your brain will die if you don't eat fat. They confuse it with trans fats. Notice the Michelle Obama school lunches. It's all how many calories you get, not that it's GMO or full of all these additives. I mean, I eat additives now, folks. I get sick. I remember growing up, I'd eat Doritos or something and feel horrible. I have to go lay down. I didn't know about fluoride. I'd drink fluoridated water and get a headache. Then they have the media attacking that, saying, you know, force everybody to drink fluoride when they admittedly say it eats your brain. So we need to fight for true medical freedom and supplement freedom in this country. That's also one of the ways we fund our operation. Self-fund is I go out and research what are the best supplements. Well, Longevity are super high quality. They have over 400 products, been around 17 years. They have a business system where you can sign up for $10 and get 30% off the retail and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip at InfoWarsHealth.com. So it's a win-win-win. Sell it in your store, sell it to your friends and family, and then a lot of people are very successful at it. Most folks just end up being able to make enough to, you know, pay for their key essentials, and that gets demonized. But then I talk to veterinarians, and they know it's all about giving the 90 essentials to cows and horses and pigs to make them healthy. And they don't want to give vaccines to their dogs and cats and pigs because they know it ends up killing them. I've worked for a large animal vet and a small animal vet. I worked for a large animal vet a whole year, full time. And I saw it all. And it's so frustrating. It's key, folks, that you experience God's creations for yourself. Things like Child Ease, the new product we've just come out with. It's from one of the leading manufacturers of organic supplements in the country. We've private labeled it, but added a few things to it. It's just got basic things in it, like chamomile flower and hawthorn berry and catnip and lemon balm and so many other key things that are just natural, clove, fruit. It's inexpensive. Try it for yourself. See what it does for your children. See what it does to you when you take it. See what happens when you try the Survival Shield X2 and all the InfoWarsLife.com products. Now, those are the products we've developed, a limited number, but they're high quality. 400-plus amazing products at InfoWarsHealth.com, InfoWarsTeam.com, and, of course, you can also go to Dr. Glidden's site, and he's a major longevity distributor. You can go there as well and sign up and be part of this. George Norrie's involved because this is high-quality stuff, drglidden.com, criticalhealthnews.com, InfoWarsTeam.com, InfoWarsHealth.com. Get the book, Epigenetics, with all these scientists and medical doctors with other types of doctors coming out with what's really happening to our genetics. Is it nature or nurture? This is a revolution against them. They're coming in after us right now because we're waking people up and folks are getting the truth. Look it up. The highest educated areas of the country are where the vaccine levels are the lowest. The European government, the German and British officers, look it up. It's Der Spiegel. Do not take the vaccine the troops get. What's that tell you? Most of them won't take it. InfoWarsHealth.com. InfoWarsHealth.com, InfoWarsTeam.com. There's phone numbers there on the sites. We'll punch up InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsLife.com, and I'll give you a number if you got any questions. Want to sign up to be a distributor, you get 30% off. You can get free shipping and sign up for auto ship, and it supports the transmission. 888-789-9277, 888-789-9277, InfoWarsTeam.com. And purchasing there directly supports our transmission. But I don't care. Go to drglidden.com and become a distributor. Just get involved today. Okay, Dr. Glidden, I'm going to shut up and try to have you go through your, if we have the best medical system in the world, why is cancer, diabetes, arthritis, obesity, autism, everything skyrocketing? It's not just overdiagnosis. We know it's happening in our own families until we get off the GMO, get the proper nutrients. But the medical doctors won't tell us that. So continue with your breakdown.
Well, it's because they're not trained in it. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And chiropractors aren't trained in open heart surgery. They don't know about that. So they shouldn't be giving any advice about it. And one of the greatest ironies here is that when it comes to chronic disease, the research has been done, the clinical experience has been done, the results are in. All chronic diseases are related directly to nutrient deficiencies, period. If you have arthritis, it's not because you have the arthritis gene. It's not because you have a voodoo curse. It's because your body has run out of the nutrients that it needs to keep your joints healthy. If you have type 2 diabetes, it's because your body has run out of the minerals necessary to metabolize sugar the way that God and nature intended it. If you have heartburn, it's not because of an overproduction of stomach acid, it's because of an underproduction of stomach acid. What makes your stomach produce not enough acid? Because you're calcium deficient and salt deficient. We are deficient in essential nutrients.
Is that why whole milk seems to be the best thing to kill heartburn for me?
Well, that's because you're getting milk that is extracted from cows who are feeding on grass that's grown in soil that has calcium in it. Calcium, a cow's body cannot make calcium, and a plant's body cannot make calcium or any of the other minerals. The only way that minerals get into the food supply is through the soil, but because of agricultural farming, the industrial farming, the pesticides that they use kill the bacteria in the soil that help the plant to extract the minerals from the soil. The greatest irony here, Alex, I got to tell you, man, I've been doing this for 25 years clinically. I've been a licensed naturopathic physician for 22 years. I've been in the front lines of private practice in the delivery of naturopathic medical therapeutics for a quarter of a century. And I'm here to tell you that most chronic disease conditions will yield to the proper nutrition. And it's not that difficult. I mean, we've been socialized to believe, oh my God, I have to go and visit the doctor. I have to do my copay. I have to sit at the feet of the almighty white coat so that they can figure things out. Well, it's important to have a good diagnosis so that you're not going to die tomorrow when it's not a tumor pressing on your brain that's causing your symptoms. But for most people, once they know what the problem is, there's a nutritional solution that's science-based and clinically verified. It's right here today, right now. So what can people do? Well, we need to be socially active. We need to get involved. We need to, knock down the politicians who are forwarding these ridiculous pieces of legislation. But in the meantime, you can take your own health back right now with simple stuff, simple solutions. And, I've been doing this for such a long time. I've had
it's very frustrating, isn't it?
Supplement companies people don't, you can only get as a licensed physician. I'm here to tell you that Dr. Wallach's nutritional products, Dr. Wallach's health recovery strategies produce the most remarkable, consistent, and effective health resolutions of anything that I've ever seen. It's simple, it's easy, it's right at your fingertips. Folks, you need the 90 essential nutrients and a little bit of education.
Absolutely. And look, I go back to the chiropractic situation. I only promote what I really believe in. My back, they were saying was going to have surgery. They were claiming that the discs weren't herniated, but were they weren't fully herniated, but they were bulging. They were all bulging out on one side as it swung out towards the left. Then I'd have to have surgery. No way my back was going to fail completely in a few weeks. I find out who supposedly from reviews the best chiropractor is. It's like 3 miles away. I go over there. It's a woman. 50-something years old, been doing it for 30 years. She starts jumping up on top of me after they take x-rays. The back moves back half the way. I'm in already a little bit less pain. They hook electricity up to my back, and it does all this scanning to loosen the muscles, so they'll unhook from being strained and pulling my back the wrong way. I come back 2 days later, come back again the next week, and all the pain was gone, and the back went back 98%, still a little bit crooked. I kept going back. That was fixed. I mean, it's just miraculous, and I'm not selling stock in chiropractic companies. I'm saying I know that works, and people like James Randi say it's a fraud and isn't real. Well, bull crap. I mean, they just pop my back instead of having to have surgery. You know, and I'm sick of this attitude of connecting some fake preacher, you know, who says he's healing people with a radio transmitter in his ear, to people saying, hey, you have lesions on your arms. You don't ever get fresh vegetables, do you? There's no vitamin K in your blood. And then you start eating the vegetables and the scurvy goes away. I mean, I know so many old people who have scurvy. And, you know, my dad would see patients. You know, he's a dentist and oral surgeon. He'd say, you know, you got bloody lesions on your arms. You know, are you eating any, green vegetables? Well, no, not really. Well, you need to. I mean, it's just crazy that scurvy's made a comeback, but they won't even call it scurvy. My dad, he's retired now. So many people with their teeth falling out because they just weren't even eating any vegetables. Or if they were eating a little bit of them, they're so depleted they weren't getting it. I mean, here's what happened. I was in incredible shape, but ate like a pig when I was like 20, 21, 22, running 6 miles every other day, lifting weights. I mean, could bench press 340 pounds, 350 pounds, squat 600. I mean, I was addicted to working out. Was why I did it. It wasn't even a narcissistic thing. I started working out with these UT football players. I was already in shape before that. Just went into crazy shape, got addicted to working out 2 hours a day. But I was going with them to all-you-could-eat Chinese and Mexican food and, cafeteria all-you-can-eat. Well, then I start doing radio and TV. I quit doing that, keep eating like that, and gain 98 or 99 pounds. I don't know, about 183 to about 279. So 97 pounds, 98 pounds. Then I start jogging, working out. Now I'm fat, hurts my knees. This is about 5 years ago. Start swimming 2 miles every other day. Lose some weight, but not a lot. I finally get on the InfoWarsHealth.com, Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and the rest of the Alex Pack products. And I wasn't even taking it every day. Suddenly, with the same amount of working out, I lost 35, 40 pounds. Then I was told, hey, this type of iodine, hey, why don't you try to boost your testosterone naturally, supermale vitality, oxy powder, flush your intestines out with Dr. Group. That together, another, I don't know, I mean, I've lost almost 70 pounds and I've gained almost 100. So I got another 25, 30 pounds to go. The point is that just in 45 days, a month and a half ago, I lost another 6 pounds and gained muscle. I mean, this is real. This is real. I mean, if you don't get vitamin C, you die. If you don't get vitamin B12, you die. If you don't get vitamin D3, you die. And they're trying to lower via the UN Codex Alimentarius with corporations, as you know, Dr. Glidden, down to vitamin C and things that aren't even really survivable, a lot of experts believe. What's behind that, Dr. Glidden?
Money, 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 and money. The medical profession doesn't get rich by healing things. They get rich by keeping people sick. And this is, I think, one of the biggest disconnects that we have not been educated on in the school system. And it's not just in the United States, it's all around the world. Again, your medical doctor does not practice medicine. They practice allopathic medicine. And allopathic medicine believes that the human body is a biochemical bag. It's a bag of biochemicals waiting to break. There is no spiritual force inside the human body. There is no ability of the human body to heal itself or to fix itself. So the medical doctor is trained not to cure the condition, but to manage the symptoms. I mean, for goodness sake, medical doctors don't even know how to cure heartburn. They can manage it with the little purple pill, but they can't cure it.
Because you don't want to cure it because you then can't sell more bottles every month.
Well, and do you think that the profession that doesn't even know how to cure heartburn is going to be able to cure cancer? No. This is what people don't understand. We're taking the wrong dog to the hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, my radio show used to be called Fire Your MD Now, not because I hate the MDs. I love the MDs when I need the MDs, when we go to the MDs for what they're good at. But for most of the conditions that most people go to the medical doctors
Sure.
for most of the time, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they've got nothing for you except symptom suppressive, expensive pharmaceutical agents, the intention of which is not to cure the condition, but simply to manage it. Just ask yourself this question. How good do you feel? Are you healthier now than you were a year ago? Are you healthier now than you were 10 years ago? No, you're not. And it's not because you're getting older. It's not because you have a bad gene. And it's not because of some electromagnetic Russian satellite. It's because your body is lacking the 90 essential nutrients.
That's
and
right.
You are eating food
Sure.
every day that's hurting your body.
Well, I mean, I would go to big beef production ranches. I mean, where they have, 100,000 head of cattle or whatever. I mean, some of the biggest ones in the country were in East Texas. And I'd be out there with a whole bunch of other vets and a whole bunch of their hands with huge stockyard areas running the cattle through. And I would hear them talk about it, and they'd say, well, the problem is that grass is getting bred on that chemical fertilizer that's only got, a couple of ingredients. That's what the plant needs is those three. And I'd be hearing, guys with, medical degrees from A&M mainly, vets, veterinary medicine, animal husbandry, talk about it. And they would be saying that's why you got to give them this special feed that has, and they'd say like 67 of the vitamins and nutrients, or I like this other one with 84. And I know Wallach's a famous veterinarian. He also has a medical degree, but that's where he came up with all this as well. But when I hear Wallach, I mean, this is what I've been hearing from vets forever. He just took it to another scientific level that, no, you really need 90 things. And my dad, before Dead Doctors Don't Lie was ever on the radio in the early 90s, my dad would always talk about that the trace elements aren't there to then release the different enzymes and help your body build the enzymes for things he called ring structures. I don't know all the science. I'm not a chemist like he has. He also has a degree in that, or that's part of his degree, to then let your body metabolize and uptake it. So explain that to me when we come back, because they say we only need a few vitamins and minerals, but why do you and Dr. Wallach say it's 90? And then why, if it's known that cows, say up in the Dakotas, if they don't have the proper minerals, they freeze to death, but if they have them, they don't freeze in the winter. I mean, that's why, look, the business of animal production is money-making. That's why they don't play games there, folks. They know it's all about the minerals because they don't want sick animals. But with us, it's the inverse because they want us sick so they can keep milking it. It's like breast cancer. You'll never hear, let's find the cause. It's let's find the treatment, let's find the cure. Going to do a little bit of overdrive with Dr. Peter Glidden. I'm your host, Alex Jones. And yes, we do some of the funding of this major media operation every few weeks, doing an interview with somebody who's promoting products that we sell and promote. But these are products that I got talked into taking about 5 years ago, and I wish I'd done it earlier. Because as soon as I had all this, even though I was eating pretty organic and healthy, that stuff's still, a lot of it from debilitated soils, it just supercharged my life. And it's done that for so many friends and family. InfoWarsHealth.com, InfoWarsLife.com is my group of products that are excellent as well. InfoWarsTeam.com is also part of the longevity operation. And you can sign up there, again, for like $10 and get 30% off the products. Sign up for auto ship, and you get free shipping. Those are major values at InfoWarsTeam.com, InfoWarsLife.com. And then if you go to Dr. Glidden's website, we'll put him back up on screen. You can sign up there and get his health alerts and get his drglidden.com insider there on the site as well. Okay, Dr. Glidden, finish up with your breakdown here, because it's not just like they're already doing all this bad. Now they're in a major offensive to totally take over. Is that because, as I've said, part of it at least, is that there is a huge awakening? We see that happening with labeling and people waking up to GMO, people waking up to what true organic vitamins can do. Is it because there's that wake-up happening and they're trying to counter-offensive, or are they trying to sew things up?
They've always been trying to sew things up. They've always been trying to monopolize the medical marketplace, and that's really been a train that's moving down the track since the early 1920s. This is just another iteration. And most people in America, most people all around the world, they just don't have any education. They don't have any perspective on this. And because everybody is sick all of the time, all around the world, people look around and they just assume that that's the way that it is. Oh, life, that's just life. you have to be sick. The older that you get, the worse your health is. And that's not the truth. The only reason that we get sick with a chronic disease is because we're eating all the wrong food all the time and our body is devoid of the 90 essential nutrients. It's that simple. All it takes really is a little bit of education here. If you're smart enough to pass the driver's license test, folks, you're smart enough to know what to do to support your body.
Well, let's just take bodybuilders.
To fix itself.
Let's take bodybuilders. So they got the natural ones and the unnatural ones, but all of them will tell you, it doesn't matter how many steroids you take or what you do and how much you work out. If you don't take natural, pure vitamins, that's Schwarzenegger said, people claim, the government says you only need the RDA, but he said it's like saying you only need 100 cops in a town. Well, what if you had one on every corner? I mean, it's the argument of you need them there, and you need the other vitamins to be able to metabolize the other vitamins and nutrients. They've all got to be there, or they don't get metabolized. Is that correct?
Yeah, and this is the meat and potatoes of the holistic approach, right? And this is what naturopathic physicians are trained in. MDs are trained in a reductionistic approach. Naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, homeopaths, Ayurvedic practitioners are trained in a holistic approach. And, if you took your car in to be tuned up and all they did was put air in the tires, well, the car wouldn't be running so great. You need to do an across-the-board fix. Well, when you take all 90 essential nutrients into your body, switches start to turn on that have been turned off for years. You're going to love the way that you feel. This Thursday night, I'm having a free worldwide webinar that's going to break this down for everybody. I'm going to explain to you for free, a 60-minute free webinar, how to take the 90 essential nutrients, why they're so necessary, and why you should turn everybody in your life onto longevity.
That's drglidden.com. Folks can find out more there in the insider area. All right.
drglidden.com, and then the link for the free webinar should be right there on the front page.
All right, and we lost a little bit of your audio there for a moment. You just said go to the front page of drglidden.com, and they can find the link to the free webinar right there and sign up. I mean, we're not going to save the world today with this show, but together with little things like this, we are. Organic food, local communities, filtering your water, everything they tell you not to do. I mean, this is common sense, folks, with the glyphosate in the water. We'll be back in some overdrive. God bless you all. I want to have Dr. Glidden back in the next few months to take an hour of phone calls and get your questions, but really, what he broke down really is the truth and is an indictment of the system. And now the AMA, Big Pharma, FDA are moving in to try to shut down because they know under Obamacare, we're now going to get even worse health care, computerized health care, Big Pharma health care. What about that point I made earlier? Because I've talked to medical managers. My dad managed when he retired over 100 dental offices. He also did consulting for major hospitals. He testified in the legislature. He was getting to be a pretty big wheel. And he got out because he said there's no way to follow the law under Obamacare. It's selectively meant to shut down the dental offices and medical clinics that aren't part of the big boys. So as MD medicine gets attacked in this consolidation, we're going to see major resistance. But, I mean, what's your take on that angle, that we've got to really rebel with our actions now against this because they're going for broke? And again, I've lost Dr. Glidden's audio. We're gonna work on that with Dr. Glidden. It happened earlier, and I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not sure if it's on his end or our end, but it happened earlier, and I wanted to try to get him to answer that question. But again, that's what we try to do here, is promote things that help you, that help us, that help everybody, that we know have had good effects for ourselves. And the system doesn't want that. They want to sell you a light bulb that breaks in 3 months instead of in 20 years. And they could have made the old-fashioned light bulbs last for years, but they didn't because they wanted to keep selling you the same light bulbs. We're not going with a planned obsolescence system. We want to promote things that build humanity, make us stronger, because then humans will create new, powerful, dramatic systems. Whatever messed up his audio on his end or our end. Okay, good. Okay, I want to be able to say bye to him. Dr. Glidden, go ahead and answer that question. I mean, I see them even coming after MD medicine now and making it pure government, pure Big Pharma. So they're going to replace surgery now that can be good sometimes with drugs.
Well, it's bad, and it's getting worse, and it's because, the monopoly just rolls forward, and the people are uneducated. Everybody's dumbed down because they put fluoride in the water, and what are you going to do? You have to vote with your feet, right? So if there's a legislator in your area that says that if they get elected, they're going to strike down Obamacare, then you have to vote for them. You have to support for them. You have to give the people in the system who are rallying against the system, because there are people there, your vote and your support. And in the meantime, for goodness sake, get your own health squared away first. Get your own health squared away first. It's a million times easier than you think it is.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Peter Glidden, thank you so much for the time. drglidden.com, that webinar, I'll try to watch that as well, because even though I know all this, it's taken me 5.5 years to slowly, like turning a big ship around, to slowly start changing direction. And now I've changed direction probably 60%, and it's just exponential now. The results of stamina, brain power, health, libido, of just doing the things that you and Dr. Wallach and other great people like Dr. Group have said is revolutionary. And if we can just get other people involved, they'll see how real it is as they are, and then they're going to tell others. It's amazing what's happening.
The proof of the pudding is in eating, and this is the only reason that holistic physicians still survive and exist in such a hostile political arena, because our therapeutics produce results. Our therapeutics work for chronic diseases. And this is the greatest thing about longevity. This is the greatest thing about science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. I don't care if you believe it. Trust us enough to try it. And once you try it, you'll experience for yourself the benefits, and that's the best testimony.
But you got to do it religiously. That's the problem. Is I did it half-ass and got a little bit of response. More and more got a big response. Started doing it every day. It's amazing. So
well, that's the learning curve, right? You fall down, you pick yourself up, you figure out how to do it, and life is good.
Yeah, I guess that's the AA quit drinking thing. It actually works. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden.
My pleasure, Alex. I look forward to seeing you next time.
Absolutely. All right, folks, we're out of time. My name is Alex Jones. Most of you know me from my syndicated radio program and my documentary films, as well as InfoWars Nightly News. When I got on air 20 years ago, I had discovered the globalist program, their plan to take over the world and install a corporate fascist state. I had read their own books, discovered their own documents, and my focus went from running 6 miles every other day, swimming 2-3 miles a couple times a week, and lifting weights, to focusing on fighting the globalist. I transformed my body from the beautiful gift that God gave me into something more akin to Jabba the Hutt. It became an internet joke. But now I've started the transformation back to getting my body, my temple in shape. And I'm about to tell you how I did it. I've gone from 279 pounds all the way down to 235 pounds, and the weight's going off even faster. I started taking Super Male Vitality and saw incredible results in just a few weeks. The problem was, though, I'd never been a vitamin and mineral and supplement taker before, so I kept forgetting to do it. So after I'd lost over 60 pounds, just a month and a half ago, I asked the crew to take a photo of me in the same lighting to see what I could do in just a month and a half. This is what happened in just 45 days. We took this photo back there in the back office, and I already lost a lot of weight, but I lost another 6 pounds with the Oxy powder and the other products at InfoWarsLife.com. And this photo was just taken a few days ago. And it wasn't just that my weight loss accelerated. My muscle mass increased. My stamina, my energy levels exploded. Super Male has the key concentrated natural compounds that my body needed to go to the next level. Today is the day to take the InfoWarsLife.com challenge and to secure your bottle of Super Male or Super Female Vitality. We've got to get our temple straight before we can go out and fight the globalist, and that's what these products have helped me do. Check them out today at InfoWarsLife.com or give our crew a call. They can answer all your questions or tell you about any of the specials at 888-253-3139.